Right, team, I need to have an update on some of the things around the club. So, Gina, finances and, of course, that new development at the club, how's it looking?
Finances are good. We have $3 million in the bank, and the new youth facilities are on track to be completed in October.
Excellent, that is absolutely fantastic. Andre, on the player side, how are the under-18s doing, and how are all those young players out on loan doing? Andre, we can't have a team meeting if you're on mute all the time. Gina, tell him to talk.
I have no power over him.
Right, fine. I'll do it myself. I'll look through the reports myself. Thanks a lot, Andre. You're big help, aren't you? Big help. Hello and welcome back to the Wrexham Way. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to today's episode. A slight change to the schedule because I realised we're playing Newport County today, and that is the Battle of Wales. So today we've got the Battle of Wales against Newport County as well as playing Forest Green Rovers. Since you guys were last here, things have gone pretty well for the most part. Not quite perfectly though, as you can see. We beat Exeter 2-1 on camera last time, but we then lost to Bolton 1-0 off camera. Now, Bolton are third favourites for the division. We're second. Salford are first. Bolton are third. They beat us 1-0. But we then travelled to Salford and we beat them 3-0. So two teams there that should be battling for the title with us. One win, one loss. It's not the end of the world there, I don't think. But following that, we had a lovely 2-0 win against Tranmere with Paul Mullen getting himself on the score sheet. We then thrashed Rochdale 4-1 in the EFL Trophy, the Papa John's Trophy, what you want to call it, in the group stage, won 4-1, before beating them after international break 2-1 in the league. So for the most part, things have been pretty good results-wise. What it means for the league table is that we currently sit third as it stands right now, but if we beat Newport County today, we will go top of the table because we're on 12 points, go to 15 points after that, 2 points clear after 6 games. So it's been a very good start to the season, but I think we expected it. If you look back at the season preview, I'll show it once again, but we looked at it and it's now changed for us to go top actually, which is interesting. So, I mean, technically speaking, then we are favourites for the league title. Salford second, Bolton third. Forest Green, who we played today, are favourites of 5th, so that will be a tough game. But Newport County are kind of upper mid-table, so they'll both be tough games, to be fair. And we have been doing this with a few key players missing. Bryce Hosanna has just picked up a fractured toe. He's out for 4 weeks. Paul Mullen is set to miss a few games. He's out for 2 weeks with a damaged foot. And then Ben Tozer, he's more of a bench player nowadays, but he's been out for a week or two with pulled knee ligaments. And then on top of that, we've had a couple other players, notably Harry Lennon and Romani Medford-Smith out injured too. So on the balance of play, things are going pretty well for us right now, but it is a nice idea to just have a little checkup on the players that hopefully are going to be coming through the ranks for our first team soon. So we'll start off with the loans. We've got a lot of players out on loan. Most of these people are players that we signed on a free transfer and we sent out to other clubs. Obviously, some of these players' names will be renamed soon, so we won't go too in-depth into them just yet. But of course, if you're on the Patreon or anything like that, then you can rename these players. But we are getting some decent results so far. You can see Rob Street is scoring 7 goals for Barnet. He was meant to be in our first team this season until Barnet came along and said, hello, can we have him on loan please? And the loan spell's doing well. He's getting much more experience playing for Barnet scoring goals than he is sitting on our bench. And the good thing is all these players are getting decent amounts of game time as well. That's what I wanted from them, to play most games. Even if they are a fringe player, like Max Cleworth is right now, although he's not that important, I don't think he's very good. So Max Cleworth probably a bad example. But he's getting lots of game time, which is good for us. In terms of the under-18s, I think they've had a pretty decent start to the season so far with a few wins and things like that, which is great to see. And again, potential is still looking pretty high for a few of these players. Of course, they'll be renamed soon, so don't get too attached to these names. But it's good to just provide a little bit of an update for you. Mostly because Andre's not doing it for me. You know, he's not telling you guys who's playing well and whatnot, so I've got to do it. Anyway, for this Newport County game, a few changes obviously have to be made because of the injuries to Hosanna, Tozer and Mullen. So this is the team starting things off this evening. John's in goal, obviously, with Lennon, Barmer and Hayden in the back line. So the back three, completely the same, but McFadzine and Bradley are playing in the wing-back roles today where they normally wouldn't be. James Jones starts in the centre of midfield alongside Ollie Clark, who's getting his first league start this season. Did play in the Cup against Rochdale and has had some substitute appearances, but this is his first start in the league for us today. Carney starting just in front, but he's not had a great start to the season. A 6-6 in his last 5 games. It's not really ideal, if I'm honest with you. But because, of course, Paul Mullen is injured, that means that George Alexander and Shamanga are starting up front. So, Kickoff is upon us here today in the Welsh derby, essentially, against Newport County. It's the Battle of the M4. Is it the M4 that goes through Wales? And below the M4 is Cardiff, Swansea and Newport. Above it is just Wrexham. I feel like that's maybe a thing. It might not be the M4. It doesn't matter, though, because they've scored. So, I mean, that's not ideal. Was that on loan Bradley at the far post who's made a mess of that one? I think it might be a no. I mean, to be fair, our centre-backs are a little bit late getting back. I mean, to be fair, there's one centre-back who's nowhere near anything, Balmer. Hayden was arriving late. So actually, Bradley, who's quite small, Newport have caught us out there. Not very happy with the centre-backs who have not pulled their weight. Anyway, we can't do much about it now. They've scored the goal. We need to get back in this game and get in front. But 20 minutes on the clock. Nothing really much is happening. Newport County holding us quite nicely to just the 4 shots. Bigger XG, obviously, but it doesn't matter when they've already got a goal scored on the clock. To make matters worse, Bradley's just picked up a little knock I've seen, the orange injury thing next to him as... I mean, look at this. Nothing in this first half at all. Right. Thrash the arms. What was that? Get your act together. Start playing well, please. Now, interestingly, Paul Mullen has got, I think, like 90% of our goals this season so far. He's very good at scoring. It's taking a little bit more time for Shamanga and for Alexander to get going. I think they've got 2 or 3 each, which is not bad going, to be fair. But, I don't know. With the quality that they are and the money we paid for them, if that went top corner, that would have been amazing. But it didn't. For the money we paid for them and the money we're paying them, I expect a certain level of performance. And today, we are really not getting it. James Jones corner, onto the head of Harry Lennon. Shamanga, very tight angle, wasn't really going to score from that one, to be fair. I think corners have been nerfed. There was an update the other day, and I feel like corners have been nerfed in it a little bit. At least it was fun whilst it lasted. Now, we're going to pause the game here, because look at this. 16 shots to 5 shots. And yet we still can't seem to get anything in the back of the net. We can push these 2 up a little bit to be like wingers on attack, because we need to get a goal from somewhere here. Advanced playmaker on attack. We haven't got a substitute striker to bring on or anything like that now, which is a little bit frustrating. Ollie Clark's not played brilliantly, so Kieran Wallace, on you come. There's not really much more we can do, if I'm honest with you. Maybe that's... Oh, Medford Smith can come on. Yeah, let's do that. He can't play left wing, though, particularly well. Okay, undo that. Leave... Right, let's do it like that. We've pushed players forward. We're going a little bit more attacking with things. Demands more. I mean, look at the match stats. We've got more than 1 XG above them, and yet they're winning 1-0 thanks to a lucky goal they scored early on in the game, thanks to them getting us on the counter-attack. They're sitting behind the ball now quite comfortably, and we literally cannot do anything. This has been the worst we've played on an episode. Shoot on sight at this stage. Focus play down the left and right. Just keep going. I mean, there's not much more we can really do, I don't think, after all of this. A chance to go top of the table. Was there just one highlight in that game and that was their goal? I know, we put one over the bar, didn't we? 2 highlights. Look at Nick Townsend's rating, a former Lincoln City goalkeeper. That's why. Former Lincoln City goalkeeper for 2 seasons. And, well, annoying. Well, Newport County win the Battle of Wales this time around. But we'll be laughing at them in the season, I'm sure. But now we do need to rest our players because we've only got 4 days off until the next game against Forest Green, who've had a week off, obviously, since their last game, because this was our game in hand we had to play. So, what do we do then for the Forest Green game? Because Conor Bradley picked up a little bit of a knock. He's fine, but not really fully fit. We can't bring Hosanna back on. Can Godsmark Ford play there? No, can't. Hull Johnson can. And I think will for this game, maybe. Let's try it out. Medford Smith can come back on, though, for McFadzean, so we'll do that as well. I think maybe the rest of the team stays as it is, though. So, kickoff is upon us once again. I'm not really a fan of Forest Green. We had a big rivalry. I say we. Lincoln City had a big rivalry with Forest Green a few years ago in the National League, where we got promoted. They, I think, actually got promoted via the playoffs. So, we both got promoted. We're both fighting for the title, at least. So, I have some bad memories of Forest Green Rovers. Not a fan of them as a club, as we just hit the crossbar there. Agonisingly close. This could be the story of today's episode, as James Jones's corner into the near post, cleared by the defenders. You hate to see it. Hall Johnson into Carney, who finds Shamanga, who can't quite get the shot away quick enough. Back to Hall Johnson, who can put a ball into the middle. Is brought down for a free kick instead. I'm not sure if this one will be on a highlight, though. It is. Jones to absolutely no one. Okay, well, there was no point that being on a highlight, really, was there? But we do seem to be pressing Forest Green quite high so far, which I'm pretty happy with, as Shamanga tries to close down the keeper, but he cleared it up towards the attack of Forest Green as they find a way through and don't score, luckily. That would have been really annoying. So, the pre-season preview had Forest Green about 5th, was it? I mean, Newport County about 9th, but Forest Green were about 5th, so they are just as good as us, essentially. I know we're ahead of them in the preview, but in my book, there's not a whole lot between us and probably most of this division, if I'm honest with you. So we need to be at our very best if we want to win today. A long throw into Alexander is won. Medford Smith shoots, blocked. James Jones blocked. Oh, we're so unlucky so far today. 2 clear-cut opportunities blocked there. We've hit the crossbar too. Surely the next opportunity is going to result in a goal for us. At least you'd like to think that's the case, as Hayden on the ball, bringing it forward. Come on, let's find a ball out wide to Hall Johnson, who can whip a ball into the middle if anyone's waiting for it. Alexander is, and he puts it in the back of the net for only his 3rd goal of the season. But it's a big 3rd goal for him, putting us in front of Forest Green. 37 minutes on the clock. That's what we signed him to do. He's the big pressing forward who's there to win balls in the air. Beautifully done. Excellent work. And luckily, that does sort of keep us 3rd in the table. Obviously, we could be top if we just beaten Newport County, but it's not quite worked out. Offside? No, there's no offside there. That was very hopeful of me shouting offside. Oh, Johns is an improvement on Rob Lainton, but he has made a few mistakes, I must say. Look back to last episode, he made that mistake for, I think it was the first goal Bolton had, where he pushed it onto the post and into the back of the net. That one should have done so much better with it. He may have won us points along the way, but he's also probably lost us a couple of games too, notably the Bolton one, and we could drop points here today. But at half-time, 1-1, we are in the ascendancy again. Not quite as convincingly as against Newport County, but we are just about ahead in all the metrics. Thrash the arms, though, far from pleased from what I've just seen. We need to be winning this game, and I want to see a little bit more from my strikers. But as results currently stand, we are still holding on to 3rd place in the league, which I think is very respectable for us at this point of the season. It's right about where we should... Well, I say that, we're dropping to 5th now, but still, it's right about where we should be. If we ever drop out the playoffs, I think we should be concerned, but as long as we're in and amongst it, I think it should be okay. As Jones's free kick into the middle, onto the head of Harry Lennon, who scored so many goals last season. Can't quite put it in the back of the net. Less than 10 minutes to go here now in this game. Shamanga's had a terrible, terrible game. We can't really do... Well, we could swap him and Alexander over. And then, if we... hang on, in the middle. Can you just move into the middle, please, Shamanga? In the middle. There we go. Swap you over. And then we'll bring him off for Brandon cover. And we'll make these guys shadow strikers in behind Alexander, I think. That probably makes the most sense. Medford Smith and Hall Johnson forward, which might mean, because they can't actually play in these wide midfielder roles particularly well, we bring on Connor Bradley and Callum McFadzean. It's rather attacking, I'll give it that. But with 10 minutes to go, we want the 3 points today. Let's try and get these 3 points. We can't have 2 games where we are dominating shots and XG and not winning them. We are winning them now. You love to see it. A goal from a corner. Maybe they've not been nerfed as much as I thought they maybe had been, because that's a great goal for Hayden there at the near post. James Jones putting that one onto his noggin in the back of the net. We're in front in this game. What we probably should do then is just drag these guys back a little bit. That way we should be able to hold on to the... I've spoken too soon again, haven't I? McFadzean beats his man, though, quite comfortably. Going back to Lennon, though, in the meantime. Lennon brings it forward, through to Alexander, into Kova. Kova out wide to Bradley. He's got so much space to deliver a ball onto the head of someone, onto the head of no one. You hate to see it. Won in the air by Bournemouth at the back, though, to bring it back forward for us. McFadzean into Clark, into Carney. Carney back into Clark. Lennon now out to McFadzean, who's brought down. Red card there for Edwards. Surely that's what the highlight's for. 90 seconds to go in this game. It's won, surely. Surely it's won at this stage as the free kick goes all the way through for a goal kick. I'd like to think we're safe. But there is still 20 seconds on the clock. Anything could happen as Carney wins the ball in the middle but gives it away immediately. And Forest Green, with maybe one final attack in this game, find Cohen Bramall, who puts a great cross into the middle, just a little bit too much on it, and that was nearly a very embarrassing moment for Kofi Balmer. If he messed that one up, that's an own goal, and it's a draw instead of a win. Referee, please blow your whistle. We're over the allotted time now, referee. And he has blown his whistle. He listened to me. Thank you very much, referee. And we've got a win in today's episode. Brilliant stuff. I feel a little bit more redemption for that loss against Newport County. But looking at the match stats here, whenever they want to come up at some point, this was a game that we should have comfortably won anyway. Yeah, 16 shots to their 7 at a 1.26 XG. I mean, yeah, it's a game we comfortably won. Although the scoreline doesn't really reflect that. So, next episode, I know we've just been promoted to League 2 and we want to play League 2 teams on camera, but I think it would be quite interesting to compare how we are performing against Bromley. Of course, the team that also got promoted alongside us last season, beat us last season on one occasion actually, so it would be good to know that we can thrash them 5-0 or something. So that is what we're going to do in tomorrow's episode, but until then, thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and if you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Until then, have a wonderful evening, have a good one, goodbye.